Hi guys, my name's Anna Trousdale and I'm from Cohort 4 and this is my STEM+C summer camp reflection presentation slash video. So, some reflection questions we were asked to answer, kind of reflect upon throughout this whole experience, are one of them is what is the most rewarding part of this whole 2 week experience? So, for me, it was getting to collaborate with Cohort 5. So, these are some people that I have never worked with in undergrad or in any other course before. I actually worked with one of the individuals in my team before at one of the private schools in Huntsville, but when it comes to coursework and classes and stuff, I've never worked with these people. So it was really neat to get to work with people I've never worked with before. So we got to share our ideas with our teammates. So in our morning Zoom meetings or even our discussion boards, we were able to see what we came up with. And every person's stuff was just a little bit different. So that was really neat. The next question is, what was the most challenging part of the 2 week experience? So definitely not receiving any accessible submissions for campers. So I was in Team Mallard, and in Team Mallard, we had one camper actually submit something for one of the activities, and that was pretty much the only submission we received, but we couldn't access it, I guess because they used a school email or something like that. It was just on a private mode, so we couldn't access it. So, and having to do this virtually was really difficult just because I was really looking forward to doing this in person. I even volunteered to be a chaperone if we did do this in person. But we also learned about different things going on throughout this whole experience, kind of at the last minute in some cases, which I understand that has to do with this being moved to a virtual basis. But how did my learning about computational thinking evolve over this experience? So I'm actually noticing computational thinking in the different aspects of it more in my everyday life. Like I kind of sit back and I'm like, oh, I just used abstraction. I didn't even realize it. So I also learned about a new program. One of my activities, which you'll see in a little bit, I found this website where you could use coding and kind of create dance parties or different types of activities. So I definitely could use that if I were ever to switch the content area that I teach. It also amazed me how I learned how like our brains just work in general. Like we think about these things, we do these things without even thinking about them. So that was really neat. The last question, so how would I be able to embed computational thinking in my own classroom? So I'm going to be a 6th grade ELA teacher. So I could see myself using decomposition. So we could break apart or decompose poems, lines in poems, paragraphs, sentences, stories, a chapter, a whole book, stuff like that. I could also see myself using abstraction in different reading comprehension or writing stations. How would you kind of like one of the activities we did with poetry? I could give them a poem and ask them to use abstractions to represent the meaning of that. It would show their comprehension with just reading and also their poetry, like literacy. So some of my activities, so go in order of module 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for module 1, it was pattern recognition. Attached, I have my YouTube video that I used for the campers. So I found this website called code.org. It's a free website. This is the website in the program I was talking about previously. So the kids can program and create a dance party, which is what I challenged them to do. I showed them how I did mine, what mine turned out to be. It was a really, really neat program. Never done coding before. Would have never thought I would have done that before. So it was a really neat experience. Module 2 is decomposition. Our group chose to do the Macarena as our dance. So I decomposed the Macarena step by step, side by side, stuff of that nature. I went into great detail about that. I would have never thought I would have decomposed the Macarena before, but that was kind of neat. Module 3 was abstraction. So again, I'm using abstractions for a poem, and this one was a haiku poem. So this is my abstraction of my haiku poem. And another slide, I had what my family and my friends guessed what my poem was on based on the abstractions. And then I showed the campers my actual poem. I actually challenged them to create a haiku and to do abstractions, the whole process that we did. And then module 4 is algorithmic design. So I created a key so they knew what each shape and color meant. And then I created the movements using symbols so readers could, look at the symbols and be able to do the dance just based on the symbols. At the end of each module activity that I did, I challenged the campers to do the exact same. So overall, this experience was really great. We learned a lot, especially because we're going into virtual learning this next school year potentially. So I had a really great experience, and thank y'all so much. Goodbye.